Hi everyone, welcome to our Wisdom Wednesday workshop tonight, and hopefully this is going to be a goodie for you because I know a lot of you have been looking forward to meeting Kerry Dell. She's our newest member, and certainly we brought her in because she's got some arsenal that we thought we've got to make some use of this because it's just brilliant. The quantum scan software is one of the software she's uses. She's going to tell us a bit more about them tonight. Hopefully some of you have already seen her interview that we did with her earlier in the week, and that should give you a bit of a clue. But yeah, certainly tonight she's going to take us through more of the ins and outs of what we can get from the quantum scan test and report, and she might cover off the other one that she does as well, the more comprehensive one, if you guys are interested. But yeah, really, well, I would love it, Kerry, if you can introduce yourself again and just your background a bit, because it is a lot, as Karen has said before, and I forget it all.
No,
But thank you very much for joining us and taking the workshop tonight. Really appreciate it.
pleasure. And thank you, Karen and Deb, for putting this together
Mhm.
and obviously for putting every Wednesday together and creating some more knowledge around all health, because I think there's so much out there, and to just stream it in and give some extra information, I think is so important. So thank you, ladies. So yeah, so just to let you all know, I'm Kerry Dell. I dived into natural health after two specialists actually told me that I would not be able to conceive children naturally. And obviously, if the medical tell me something, I was like, okay, I've got to go down the natural route. If I can't go down the medical route, I'm going to find a solution. And it did. It took me about 4 years to put my body back into balance. And what I realized, that it was not just one dimension, it was multiple dimensions. It was physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. It was the whole lot going on. And the minute that I had my body in balance, my body healed itself. And that really took me down a huge path of studying. I still do research. I still have mentors. I still work alongside medical practitioners as well as natural practitioners. And right now, I work in a clinic in Campbell's Bay. I do online remote work for a lot of my international clients. I am a head coach for Mind Valley with the WildFit program. I'm a master coach on the WildFit nutritional program. So currently in my group, I have about 3,300 people that I'm coaching online internationally. And I do that a couple of times a year. So I do get exposed to a lot of people, and I have done tests on thousands of people, and I've worked out, even if we can't be one-on-one in person, how can we find out what are the imbalances in our system and where to focus? Because I think that's most important. Instead of us grabbing around and looking for, oh, this vitamin I might be lacking, or this, mineral I might be short on, and I'm going to buy this supplement because it just sounds good and the marketing on it was really good. But really to hone in and go, okay, what is your body needing? Where is your body focusing? And so the tools that I have, which have obviously speeded up the process, because when I was told 28 years ago that I couldn't conceive children, it was like, I managed to find some technology that could speed up that process and help my clients in a quicker time frame. So I've got about 4 or 5 different pieces of equipment, but 2 of them in particular do more of the diagnostic work, and all my equipment is based on frequency. So if you thought frequency was in the future, no. Frequency technology and the software around frequency technology has been around for many years. Personally, I've been working with this equipment for about 10 years. My mentor's been working with this equipment for over 20 years. So we know this equipment backwards. We know how to interpret the results that come through. And I think that's the key is, it's all good having software and having frequency, but how do we interpret it? So what I wanted to share with all of you, which is going to be shared out amongst your community, is the quantum scan, which really tells us what's overworking in our body and what's underworking in our system. And Deb, if you're up for it, are you happy if I share your results? She doesn't even know that I've done her
I haven't
report.
even heard them, so yes, hopefully it's nothing embarrassing, but it shouldn't be, right? But
No,
it's
well, I
be
think
interesting.
what will be really nice is if you can, you know, say no to some of the stuff or confirm some of the stuff, and
Yeah,
just
yeah,
tell
sure.
me how you're feeling, and then you'll kind of know what I found. So I've obviously done this remotely on Deb. So all my tests can be done remotely. You don't have to sit in front of me because we are frequency beings. And with our energy and vibration, we can pick up energy and vibration, doesn't matter where you are in the world.
I would just like to let you and everyone know that I've been quite under the weather. How many days, hun? At least 5, isn't it?
Yeah.
Since we left Auckland, yeah, I came down with, you know, the throat, the full sinuses and achy body. And then it sat on my lungs, so it's coming up off my lungs now, but I'm feeling a lot better. But yeah, so that'll be interesting to see if any of that shows up somehow.
Cool. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen because I think if we just get right into it, then you'll know if you want to take this test what to expect, and I think that's probably the best, and we can talk around it. So so let me share my screen now. Okay, here we are. So you'll be able to see here at the top, it gives the information of what section. So this is cardiovascular cerebral, which is heart and brain. If there is a line like yellow or red, and it's on this side, on the right-hand side, it's telling me it's overworking. And if it's on the left-hand side, it's telling me it's underworking. So these are the areas that have been tested. And so if I look here, this is telling me, first of all, there's a lot going on in your blood. It's also telling me your cholesterol is a little bit high. Your vascular resistance is a little bit high. And this normally shows up if you are stressed. So I don't know if you are going through a little bit of stress, but we want to see green. Green is all good. And if we see blue, it's just indicating what direction that is actually moving in. So I want to initially see blue, but green is like first class, like everything is balanced there. So I'm going to move on to the stomach area. So this is actually telling me that the stomach is actually quite, the peristaltic movement of the stomach is quite slow. So your digestion is kind of slowed down. The good thing about this, your small intestine is absorbing. Yay! So that is awesome because it just means that's where the nutrients get absorbed. Your stomach is the place which breaks down the foods, and then the nutrients get absorbed into the small intestine. So I'm really happy to see small intestine is working really well. Pepsin levels are really good up here, which means you're able to break down proteins very easy. So that's excellent as well. So it's just a slow moving stomach at this stage. If I move to your large intestine, okay, this is showing a different story. So this is actually your microbiome in your large intestine is totally out of balance.
Right.
So we should have a good balance of good bacteria and bad bacteria. And when I see this, it indicates there could be an imbalance of the bacteria. There could be parasites. There could be viruses that have not become dormant. So something is interfering with the large intestine. And so I don't really want to go into your bowel movements right now, unless you want to, but it will affect bowel movements. And sometimes the stools are too loose. Sometimes there's constipation. So yes, this is indicating. Now, my deep dive DNA resonance test, that will tell us exactly what that is.
Okay.
So this one is the overall, what's overworking, underworking, but the deep dive into the cells and into the lining and into the walls and into the tissues and into the stem cells and really into really the biochemistry as well as the pathology as well as the pathogens, that takes longer to do. And that will clarify exactly what that is. And it'll clarify it by name. So if there is any bacteria there that shouldn't be there, we will know it by name. If there's candida, it will show up. If there's mold or fungus, it will show up. If there is a specific parasite, it will show up. If there is a specific virus, it will show up. So there is something there. If we've got time, I can show everybody what that looks like, but let's go through this first. Cool.
Okay.
If you're up for it,
Yeah, no worries.
Cool.
So what about your probiotic? What about your natural biome in the gut? that's just going to be upset by the other.
Correct. This is upset. So it's telling me that it's
So
upsetting.
if it was on the other side of the of that middle line, it would suggest you've got a healthy microbiome in your gut.
Correct. If it comes up in green, it's like, yes, it's all good. It's all good. Yes.
Okay.
Right. Let's move to your liver. Now, this liver, the liver is responsible for over 500 different functions in the body. So it's super important that this liver is functioning really, really well. It's not too bad, but your energy is a little bit low in the liver itself, and it's moving towards a fatty liver. It's not a fatty liver yet, but if it was yellow or red, it's confirmation of a fatty liver. So anybody else taking the test, if this comes up in yellow or red, it's confirmation there definitely is a fatty liver. Even now it's moving in the wrong direction, but it could be that your liver's overworking, so it's trying to flush out toxins. It's trying to balance your metabolism. It's trying to balance hormones and cholesterol. So it is overworking at this stage. If we go to your gallbladder, yay!
Yay.
Yay, if you can see, this is what I like to see. This is like, yay, because the gallbladder is really the one that secretes the bile that cleans out your intestines. So this is awesome. This is awesome. Yeah. Pancreas, yay. Pancreas is good.
Excellent.
Awesome. Okay, kidneys, they're under a bit of strain. So this could be depending on the water and how much water you're drinking, but also depending on what your body is detoxing, the kidneys could be very much so strained. So I don't know if you're feeling any sort of kidney discomfort in your back area, or if you are having enough hydration.
I have a lot of lower sore back, but I've been putting that down to muscular stuff rather than kidney.
Yeah.
So no.
Yeah, just be aware. Just be aware that's showing up, and I know you and I are doing the deeper dive, so we will look at the kidney in more detail for sure. This is your lungs. This is your lungs. So what this is showing is obviously there's not the full capacity is being used. Yeah, so that makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah, isn't that interesting?
Yeah. So. And this is your body is trying to take those deep breaths. So that normally indicates some mouth breathing instead of breathing through the nose. So it could be just taking deep breaths through, trying to breathe in deeply, or it could be snoring. So sometimes that shows if people do snore, or they're trying to bring in some deeper breaths. So they're trying to bring in some oxygen. So,
or could it just be because it is congested right now?
Yeah, so it is trying to overwork. Well, it's overworking because it is trying to pull the oxygen in. That's what it's trying to do. Yeah.
Yeah. So the vital capacity, is that again impacted by the fact that I've got, inflammation on my lung? Right. 100%. Okay. But the lung capacity is more of a general.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's like
so that's quite good.
That is good. That is good. So that's looking at you if you didn't have any inflammation.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Cool. Okay, cool. Right, we're going to go to the brain nerve. So a little bit of short-term memory.
I know that for sure, and I know why.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had pretty shocking short-term memory for a long time actually, and I put it down to smoking too much pot when I was in my 20s and my formative years, I suppose. Because even longer term memories, some of those days, I'm really hazy on the details. Interesting.
Very interesting. Really interesting. And ladies, isn't it interesting what people will divulge when you start talking about? We didn't need to know that.
Oh no, I'm happy to share that, because now I actually feel quite passionately about trying to help people get off, things like that, because
brilliant.
Really need them, and they do. I can say they have a detrimental effect over time. So
awesome. Okay, right. This is your bone. So this is bone minerals. Now, your bone minerals are a little bit low, which means you are moving in the direction of osteoporosis.
Yeah.
And what I find is that when the stomach is not breaking down the food efficiently enough, the body goes into survival mode and it goes, don't worry, I'm just going to pull minerals from the bones,
Yeah.
in order to make sure that I've got enough minerals for the whole body to function. So this is also over time, the bone minerals are a bit low. But if we get that stomach functioning correctly and we get a huge influx of nutrients and minerals into your body, I've seen this come back. So
Right.
I want everybody to know that as long as we're alive, we can heal. I have seen healing at stem cell level in 80-year-olds. So it blows my mind. It doesn't matter what your age is. If we are focused and we know that this is exactly what we need to be doing, you can heal. And you can heal yourself. You don't have to wait for anybody else. Like, this is about you knowing what's in balance so that you can bring it back into balance. Cool. So we're just going to move through a little bit of, and that's also showing a little bit of, moving towards osteoporosis. And then this is your lower back. So there is lower back stuff going on. So,
Oh, calcification. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Oh, with the bone rather than the
With the
ligaments.
bone. But when we do the deep dive into the other scan, then we go into the bones as well in a lot more detail too. Yeah. Okay, and this is showing that your bones are a little bit acidic in the bone growth. So your bone growth, and this is something we can turn around as well. So we need to really look at the balance of acidity and alkalinity within the entire body. Okay. Blood sugars, perfect. Yay! Yay! I always
You
love to
guys,
see that.
phew,
Yeah,
I just
I
have
do
to
love.
say.
I love seeing that. Okay, this is your minerals. So slightly low on some iron here. Phosphorus is
Right.
low. Potassium's really low.
Mm.
Yes, you've got to eat more bananas.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
broccoli. Or broccoli, get your greens in. Slightly low on copper and cobalt. And you know from the LifeWave X39 patches, this is what's going to help. It's going to help all these minerals. Specifically, it brings the copper back in. It actually, I've seen all the minerals improve after those patches. So yeah, you guys are on the right road there.
Mm.
If we look at your minerals, vitamin A is low, vitamin C is low, vitamin E is low. So
Okay.
these areas of the body are obviously drawing a lot more vitamins than what your body has. And it goes back to the breakdown of your foods. And obviously we want maximum absorption. So what I find is even with the minerals and the vitamins here, people go, oh, I went out and bought a whole lot of vitamin Bs because I thought I needed vitamin Bs, for some energy. And I'm going, actually, you don't need any vitamin Bs. Your Bs are brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So instead of guesswork, this is very specific, and you know exactly what you're needing. And I'm also, as you know, a big one about food, using food for fuel and food for healing. And food has a very high frequency, as I know you guys talk about a lot. So I don't actually recommend supplements. I recommend food. I really recommend food. So for me, food is the healer there.
Okay. Cool.
Amino acids, so it's only tryptophan that is a little bit low here. And sometimes that can be from whatever proteins you're eating, So amino acids obviously come from proteins. Tryptophan, I find, is mainly chicken. So if there isn't enough or if there is too much of it, it can actually just bring that down a little bit. Coenzymes. So here, pantothenic acid is vitamin B5. You got your folic acid, and then your Q10, which is your circulation. So that's a little bit low there. Glutathione is excellent. Look at that. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm really happy about that because glutathione helps your body detox properly. So if your liver is functioning correctly and your glutathione is really in balance, it means that your body can detox. So that is a really good sign if you're looking at, obviously doing a big detox because the gut microbiome is out of balance. And so when you activate that, you want all your detox pathways to be open and supportive. So that's a good sign. It means your body can do it.
Yeah, cool.
These are essential fatty acids. So it's basically saying you can do with more natural fats. more avocados, more coconut oil.
I can't eat that.
Okay.
It gives me cramps. I really react badly to avocado.
Yeah.
More
So then,
butter?
yeah, so you could do coconut oils, butters, even nuts. You know, just know that natural, as much natural stuff as possible coming in. This is your endocrine system, and this is really cool because actually your adrenal glands are pretty chilled. So that means that we need to go, we need to go back and see what's happening with the stresses. And is it a biochemical stress of the heart that we saw earlier, or is it inflammation stress, which is very different from chemical stress? So if it was the like cortisol running through your blood, then I normally see the adrenal glands a bit overworked here.
Okay.
Okay, immune system. So this is looking cool. Nothing, you know, hugely glaring here. Everything, your thymus and things like that, they're working. They're working. We need them to work a bit harder.
Yeah.
This is your thyroid, and this is your T4s and T3s, which I normally find a little bit out of balance when the liver is not functioning to the peak performance. So the minute that the liver is all in balance, these also come back into balance because your liver is obviously responsible for converting T4 to T3. So that's that helps there. All right, these are toxins. So your body does pick up on Wi-Fi, and
Gosh, yes,
yeah. So it's not bad, but just so that you're aware there. And
pesticide residue.
yeah. So this is, you know, all of us that are eating a lot of veggies or a lot of fruits or a lot of the skins, we just need to make sure they're washed properly. Yeah, I've got a solution that I spray on mine just to make sure, but apple cider vinegar, washing it with that also helps. So just know that this could be, or it could be from like weed sprays, you know.
To be honest, I don't eat a lot of fruit, so I eat apples, and if it's not organic, it could be on that.
Yeah.
Also from the water supply, don't forget.
Yeah, that's it. The chemicals in the water. Yeah.
I had a feeling when you and Xander went down with that bug, I have a feeling it's the water supply that you put in your boat in Auckland.
Yeah.
So, anyway, sorry, couldn't help.
Okay, heavy metals, too much lead and mercury. Yeah. So lead is a difficult one because lead could come from so many different sources. So that's really, really hard. But I do know that that when we have parasites in our body and the parasites die off, they leave lead behind. So that could be, if there is that gut microbiome imbalance and there could be parasites there, it could be the die off of them that needs to be drawn out. Mercury is obviously if there is any amalgam fillings or if there is too much fish with mercury in it, you know, that could be the only other place that that I would look for. But I do see a lot of specifically Kiwis brought up in this country. They have a lot of arsenic in their bodies.
Really?
Yes. Yes. And that comes from our water source here. We're on volcanic soil, and the volcanic soil is full of arsenic. So we have to filter our water. We really have to filter our water because otherwise we are going to pick up heavy metals from the water as well. Yeah.
Well, and with these metal readings, can they be in the body more recently, or is this sitting in the system trapped in fat cells and things like that?
Yeah. So both. It can come from both. This reading is not an overnight reading. This reading as well as the other one. This, I often have to dig deep into sometimes when we're unpacking, because I'm all about finding the root cause. Like, why are these things in the system and where are they in the system and what are they doing? And when I'm going through that, I often find that the triggers might have been in childhood. And we've carried these with us all this time. I had one woman that came to see me, 39 years old. She was battling to fall pregnant. And when we unpacked, she had streptococcus bacteria in her ovaries. And she, from the age of 5, she had strep throat, tonsillitis, antibiotics every year until she was 39. every year. So she was like having the antibiotics just to get rid of the symptoms, but it had never really gone out of her body and obviously moved to a weak area. So there was bacteria there. And so she was battling to fall pregnant. So this is not just a 24-hour have a look at the body. This is stuff that's been in the body for a long time. Yeah. This is a beautiful picture of your overall, I love this slide because this is telling me your response to things is really, really good. Mental power is a little bit low. You are hydrated, yay. You do have oxygen in the bloodstream, brilliant, but your pH is a little bit too acidic. So we do need some acidity in the body, and that's why when you look at the chart and you look at the actual numbers, you will see that our numbers here are 3.1 to 3.6. We do need some acidity in the body, but yours is even lower than that. So your body is very acidic, sitting at 2.9. Okay. So one thing we've got to do to heal is to get that body back into a place where it can actually start the healing process quickly. I find that if all of this is in green, the healing happens very quickly. Like your body responds really quickly. So this actually is quite a vital, focus point for me when I look at people. Yeah.
And so if acidity is one thing that I need to change and try to change fairly quickly, that's probably there's a bit too much sugars coming into my diet.
Sugars, grains, dairy's acidic, caffeine's acidic.
Oh, caffeine, that'll be it.
Oh, sorry.
It could be it, yeah.
So I'm a great believer is I don't say remove it forever. It doesn't have to be forever. It actually has to be until your body is strong. So if you can heal with making changes to your nutrition, you could reintroduce things in the future and it will be fine. And Debs, honestly, I had years ago, I couldn't eat not an avocado pear, but a normal pear, a fresh pear. The same thing. I would have major stomach cramps. I would be in so much pain. And the minute my body healed, I can now eat pears again.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes, it's very interesting to test your body once you've been through a cleanse, a detox, a nutritional program. Just test your body again, reintroduce something and see what happens. And feel into that. Yeah. This is allergy markers. So this is just saying, your body doesn't like any type of injections, doesn't like smoke, it doesn't do well on the hair dye. Even animal fur could be a little bit.
Yes, no, that's a known allergy I have. Yeah, which is why I have a dog that doesn't shed. But you put me around cats and dogs that shed, I sneeze like crazy.
Okay, awesome. And here's your dairy.
And milk, and that's come up in tests before as well. Yeah,
okay.
but I'm actually a little dairy intolerant.
So spot on there. This is metabolism wise. So when I see it on both sides like this, it's just the metabolism has started slowing down. So we don't want that. We need to speed up that metabolism. So I'm sure with this nutritional program that you're going to be going through as well, and it will actually help everything speed up. This is your skin. So what this is showing is that you're losing a lot of moisture and your skin is quite dry.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Especially being out on the sea.
Yes.
No, but we've both got quite dry skin at the moment.
Okay. Your eyes, when I see a lot of stuff coming up with the eyes, it could be a lot of computer work or it could be sleep quality. So, but your eyes seem to be like, we know there's things going in different directions, but I'm actually happy with all of that. This is collagen. So this is saying that you're low around your teeth area and your circulation. So your circulation's coming up again. Is there anything else? No, there. Okay.
And my teeth, my teeth are they could be doing better.
Yeah, cool. So just know that collagen would actually help. But once again, I'm not a big fan of the supplement, but bone broths or, bone broth for me is probably key when it comes to collagen. So anything like that to enhance it naturally would be good, would be really good.
Right. Yeah.
This is your energy channels. And so it just really tells me more about the meridians in the body. So I'm actually fine with all of those. This is your pulse of your heart and brain. So that's all looking good there. This is your blood lipids. So HDLs, LDLs, cholesterols, blood viscosity. So I want to go into your blood when we do the deep dive, because the blood's come up twice now where it's not 100%. It's not bad, but it's not 100%. And I always like very clean blood. So there's a little bit of improvement to be done there. And then this is just the gynae stuff that comes up. So, you know, I see that if there's inflammation, that normally shows up. If there's candida, it will probably show up in this area as well. And it's all around menstrual cycle and things like that. So what actually happens is right at the very end here is a report. This is what I'm going to send you. Okay. So this is everything that was yellow or red. So everything that was either under or over, and you'll see here, it shows a normal range and they'll show your range. So you'll be able to see what's under and over. If there's anything right at the top here, it's telling me this is the most important because it was the one thing that was most imbalanced. And then it goes through a summary of everything else here. So you know what you need to do to focus and where you need to focus. Now, the good thing about this is if you had to print this out, I mean, this would probably be, you know, nearly 2 pages, probably about 1.75 pages. After you've moved through a nutritional program, detoxing, cleansing, all of that, it comes down to either under a page or even up to half a page. Cool. It's so awesome to see when we know where to focus and we put the focus and attention into that area, how our body responds and changes. And it's just magnificent to be able to see a before and an after.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's wonderful, Kerry. So something I just want to point out here is that I might have steered people a bit wrong with the emails about tonight in terms of this report actually isn't isolating stem cell activity, is it? So that's in the deeper dive one. And
that
yet,
takes longer to do. It takes much longer to do, and it's hugely detailed.
And also, what I would say though, this is my interpretation, Kerry, you can put me wrong, you know, you can tell me if I'm wrong, is if we're seeing certain things like with Deb, with the cardiovascular system, that is probably where the stem cells are going to do the work anyway. So if you put your energy into the ones that are at the top, like, for example, with cardiovascular, there's so many different things we can do. Then, and you get another report, and if it's gone, you know that you've hit the nail on the head, really.
Absolutely, because if you recognize in that report, the cardiovascular system was there, but then there was circulation, and Q10, and there was, you know, so it kept on repeating itself, and that's why it's so nice, because you'll see that things do, you know, go double check. I mean, if there's a low absorption, there's a few minerals that are not being absorbed properly. So it's a double check, it's a double check. So yes, I often say to people, if you take that report and you really focus on your key areas, you'll find that other things just automatically come back into balance.
So makes sense. Really makes sense. It's really interesting, isn't it? So, you know, I can see why you're so passionate about what you do, because just having a report like that, for our lovely members, if they have a report like that and they do the program, but they focus on certain aspects, that the ones that have come up as being the most important and the most prevalent, then we can really, really make huge changes. And I think that is amazing, Kerry. So so we're Kerry is wonderfully offering this test for $75, isn't it?
Yes, this is like for your members only. I don't normally do this in isolation to the other one. When I'm working in my clinic, like, people have to come to me and do everything so that they get everything. But I just thought, because you're going on this beautiful journey together, let's give it to you at a special and make it available to everybody.
That's fantastic. So we're really grateful for that. And I'm sure everyone's going to jump on board. Deb, did you have the link that people who want to jump on board can jump on board straight away, if you know?
Yeah, if they want. I'll pop it in an email as well, definitely, with the recording of this. And if we're going to share this with the wider community, we'll send the link for them as well.
Yeah. Different pricing.
Cool.
Yeah, there has to be a benefit for being a member.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Cool. I don't know if you want me to go really quickly into your stem cells. Have we got time?
Yeah, I'd be very excited to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So obviously this is the in-depth one.
The in-depth one, yeah.
Yeah, but I just thought it might be really nice just to get a little peek view of what it's about, and so you can see the depth into what that actually does. So I'm actually just going to pull up your one now on my screen, and then I'll share my screen again. And then, if you don't mind, Debs, are you fine with this?
I think so.
Because once again,
brave, Deb.
I've actually just run her report without. I haven't even looked at it yet. So,
My goodness.
This will be the first time that I'm seeing it as well. So, okay. So let me share my screen. Okay, so I'm just going to go through certain areas. I want to see green, but when there's things in red, but I'm not going to go through everything. I am going to go through, okay, here's the nerves in your back. So there is nerves in your back right there. That, yeah, so that area right there is what I'm looking at, would be the nerves have been affected. Okay, so nerves are obviously affected by muscles. It goes through each vertebra as well. So that would be nerves and bones. Nerves and bones. I'm going to go into, let me just, I'm going to go right down. Okay, if you have a look.
There's a lot of red there.
So, yeah, so this is kind of your body sliced in half. And this is indicating there is circulation and there's a lot of gut stuff happening there. So, so let's just, I want to go into your blood cells and your stem cells. So if I go into the blood cells, I look at the biochemical indicators. So there it is, there's cortisol running through your blood. So that's a stress hormone. Yes, and this is also stress and this is inflammation. So you've got stress and inflammation in your blood, which is why, remember on the other report, your blood kept on coming up and circulation kept on coming up. So this is really important to get that under. So if I look at the pathopathology, it looks absolutely amazing. But now I'm going to see if there's any toxins in your blood. So let's just see if anything shows up here in red. No. So that's awesome. Okay, so it's really cortisol. Cortisol is what's running through your blood. If anybody did have the jabs, I do check them as well if there's any of the jabs running through the system. But
what do they show up as, Kerry?
It shows up as activated vaccinations and sometimes even the polio virus because it was in the jab.
And have you come across people who haven't been jabbed but have had those come up through shedding?
Yes. Yes, it does show as
well. But
well.
it's the same readers,
It's the same readers. And actually today in my clinic, I had a 17-year-old and she has not even had one childhood vaccination, not one. Her mother has said none to all of them, but she had the polio virus. And I said, you're sitting in a classroom of kids that have been vaccinated. So there's definitely been some shedding. So, so that was big for her. All right, I'm going to go to your stomach because that showed imbalance. So let's have a look what's showing up there. Yep, so there is definitely gastritis inflammation in the stomach area. There is a whole lot of viruses. That is a huge amount of viruses overloaded in your stomach. And here we have, there is one type of parasite there, two types of parasites, three types of parasites, and then some bacteria. So that's in the stomach area.
My goodness.
So now I want to go to that large intestine of yours because that also showed imbalance. So now we're looking at the wall. So we're looking really deep. And there it will show, there it's showing the polio virus.
What?
Yeah, so that would be
polio showed up on the other one, didn't it?
Yeah.
The last screen you had.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's definitely stuff going up there. Okay, and that's definitely, so that's gut, you know, a gut imbalance of microbiome plus inflammation. So, so that would definitely play up there. Okay, let me just go to your stem cell so that we can see where your stem cell is focusing the healing. So, if I have a look, right, here's your stem cell. Right. So now the stem cell, as everybody knows, is your cells that are born in your body. New cells are born in your body every day. Your stem cell can turn into any cell. It can turn into a blood cell, a bone cell, a heart cell. It turns into what's shouting the loudest in your body. What's really shouting the loudest. And so if I look at the pathology, it's going to tell me where your stem cells are going. So your stem cells are going to your stomach. Then it's going to your bones, it's going to your stomach, it's going to your thyroid. There's some allergies there, and there's stomach, there's lungs, stomach.
Wow. Oh, well, I know what I'm going to be working on.
There you go. There you go. So actually, you know exactly where you need to focus.
Amazing.
Yeah.
If I start sorting out my stomach, then I might just find that my back starts improving. I imagine.
Yeah.
I would say so.
Yeah, that was very, very brief.
Yeah.
Obviously, there is a lot of detail that I go into. And when I do that test, I give people a video report. So they see the screen, they see what shows up. We get to unpack until you really get to the root cause of your imbalances. Yeah.
That machine, is that from Germany?
It's originally from Germany, correct. Because there's a lot of German words still.
Yeah, because I used to use one very similar to that called an Etascan.
Yes. Yeah. So
yeah, because I recognize the pictures because they come up with the same dots and things. They're very interesting.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. So yeah, I just thought let's put the whole picture together. But as you know from just that one report, you will be able to really get a good idea of what is happening in the system. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, certainly from the first quantum scan, it came up, you know, I would have walked away going, right, my cardiovascular health and my gastro health is what I need to focus on. And and the fatty liver on the way up. So that would have been another to, you know, work on my liver. So
So most importantly, your gut and your circulation. Those for me would be key. Yeah. Awesome.
Fascinating.
Questions?
Amazing. Yeah. Has anyone got any questions for Kerry? That's really cool. Very cool.
Any questions? Put your hands up if you've got questions.
Whirlwind going through it, but
so how do you do the actual testing online, Kerry?
So I have got different types of equipment, and all I need is a photograph. I need your full name, your date of birth, and then your height and your weight. And so I plug in those details so that my system can pick you up. It picks up you and your little antenna that is floating around, your little radio station, and it can tune into you. Wow. So yes, photograph with all your details. But I think that's on, did you put that on the registration form as well, Deb?
No, I wasn't able to do that, but because they didn't have something simple like the date of birth. So what I'm doing is once that order goes through, you'll get an email. I'll do that right after the call, basically. I'll set up that standard email that asks for the key data, and then I'll ask them to basically reply to that email and forward it to you with all the answers and a photo. And I think that's the easiest way to do it.
That's perfect, because then I'll just email you your report back, and then you're good to go.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah, it's awesome because obviously I've got a lot of clients internationally because I work with Mind Valley so closely, and every time the accuracy blows me away. It really does. It was like, we across the world and we can get this information, but we all frequency. So, and this technology is here. So we've got to take advantage of the technology and use it so that we can focus and heal.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah. Wow. Well, that was educational, wasn't it, Deb?
Very, yes, very eye-opening. For me, oh, look, to be fair, I suspected I had parasites. I knew that, you know, and I think parasite cleansers is just something I'm going to have to introduce quite regularly until I'm on top of them, because I've got a lot going on there. But the viruses, I mean, that's, I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, we do come across certain viruses all the time. We're actually never going to get away from viruses, bacteria, parasites, things like that. But our immune system should be strong enough to handle that. Yeah. And our gut should be strong enough to kill them off in the gut area. So it just means that your stomach is
it's just a bit overwhelmed at the moment, and it needs some extra help. Yep.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. So so what I find is there are some of these what I term as mother viruses, and then there's other viruses that mutate off them. And in fact, in our laboratories in Auckland, what they do is they experiment with mutating viruses by feeding them eggs. So, Deb, the one thing is you just avoid some eggs for the next couple of months. You know, just
eggs.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. The eggs. I eat a lot of eggs.
Okay.
So okay. All right. I can do that. It's can be my box thing.
Yeah, because otherwise all that list of all the little ones that were there, those are all mutations of the big mother viruses. So you actually just want to get rid of all those little irritants and make them absolutely dormant in your body. And so definitely, unfortunately, they started feeding viruses in laboratories with eggs in the 1930s, and they're still doing it today. I checked.
So it's just another form of vaccination, isn't it, really, Kerry? You know, that's what it is. And so when I used to do tests like the one you're doing, I think yours is more advanced, but we found with nearly every single person we treated was Borrelia burgdorferi, which for those of you who don't know is Lyme's disease, papilloma, and Epstein-Barr. Nearly every, and we were trying to work out why. Because, and I do believe it was in the polio virus vaccine. I believe those were in the polio vaccine. And so, so it's really quite fascinating when you start seeing patterns in, not just the patterns in the individual, but patterns in groups of people.
Well, that's exactly it. Because before the COVID jab, I wasn't seeing any polio virus. Because I mean, you get that when you're a baby, if you do, and your body deals with it, you know, you build up the immunity to it. But I was seeing active, if it's in red, it's active poliovirus only after COVID. And I was going on, I was like, what is happening? Why all these people all of a sudden have got this virus? And
that turned up in mine, didn't it? That was in mine.
Yeah.
The thing, there is a theory, Kerry, about how viruses actually are toxins. So, you know, the polio virus came along, it's been around for a long time, but it actually got activated by DDT. So, which I find quite interesting. What do you think about that?
Yes, I agree. I agree. Yes.
Yeah. It's really quite, when you start digging, you just can't stop digging, can you?
I know that's why that detailed one, you know, honestly, there's a lot of data there. So it does take a long time, which is why, you know, that's you know, that's more costly, but it just takes a long time. Yeah.
Well, to analyze it and as well. So when you do that test, do you when you with a client, do you sort of like see what happens when you put something in with it to change the frequencies?
I can do that, but I work very much so with the Rife treatment machine, and that gets amazing results, So I will test them to see whether they are their body accepts that frequency.
Frequencies, yes. Okay.
And if it does, then yes, then
you know that they're going to do the job. And so that's the beauty of these frequency machines, isn't it? Really, is you can cross-reference someone's report, you know, someone's result to see if it's gonna help. And then you're making a really educated, it's not a guess. actually. It's really an educated summary of what's going to help. And I think that's
100%. And then what I do is I work the full protocol for the individual on the right machine based on opening up detox pathways, attacking the pathogens, and then strengthening the body. And it's a set protocol, and I give it to them for a month in advance. And they come back and they do check-ins, and it was like, wow, viruses have gone, parasites are gone, body is full of energy, they're sleeping through at night, they're releasing the weight. It's just, you know, once you get that formula right for the individual, because everybody is different. And once you get that formula right, it just, there's magic that occurs. And I think that's why a lot of people are not getting the results that they want from the medical side of it, because the medical just throw you in a box and they go, well, that's
they do.
kind of what the symptoms that you are showing is here, and this is it. But each person is very individual, like very individual. You have different things, you're exposed to different emotions, you're exposed to different traumas in life and accidents and viruses and you know, food poisoning from different countries that you've traveled to. I mean, no two people are alike. They're not. So
that's what makes the work so fascinating, isn't it, really?
I love it.
It's like we're all little, you know, unique little snowflakes that we're and working with each individual, it's always amazing. So that's fantastic.
Kerry, the Rife technology is something that we would love to do a future workshop on if you would be for that. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'd be very happy to do that. Yeah, really
great to learn more about that.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And just a little sneaky question actually on that topic before we do. I've noticed on YouTube there's a lot of Rife frequencies there. Now, does it work the same way if you're, you know?
Very general. It's very, very general. So what I've found in my research is that different manufacturers of Rife machines actually have different frequencies. So the manufacturers that I work very closely with, and I have worked very closely with them for a number of years, is our frequencies actually go down to really deep decimals. And we program specific groups like detoxing spike proteins, detoxing stem cells, you know, and then the protocol that you put together really works. So yeah, unfortunately, I don't think the online stuff is as detailed or goes to the depth that the people that purchase the machines, and you know, Rife machines just range in price, but I think that's exactly what you need, is something that's really good, something that's been tried and tested, you know, something that you know is easy to use and yeah, portable. I mean, my one is like really, really portable, so it doesn't matter where you are, you can get healing. So I think it's really important.
That's interesting. I just assumed that Rife was Rife and there was just one kind. I didn't realize there were lots of different brands.
Loads of manufacturers, loads. Yeah.
That makes it more complicated.
Ask a quick question.
Yeah.
If we do the test and we're looking at, you know, what you've done there with Deb tonight, we can then ourselves look at parasites or what cardiovascular, whatever. And then if we didn't want to do the following up test, would we then just sort of like 3 months time check in again, or at the end of the 6 months? What's the recommended sort of, you know, because if you're doing something, you want to know it's working or if something's changing.
Exactly. I mean, to be really honest, I have some clients that want to check in on a monthly basis, and that's too quick. In my opinion, it's very quick, and I don't advise it. I really feel a 3-month check-in, it gives your body enough time to see the shifts and changes, because after 1 month, it's like your body is in the middle of changing. Like it hasn't done the changes, you know, so we see that. After 3 months, really, really good. After 6 months, amazing, like amazing. So if you are doing the 6-month program and you do before and then at 6 months, that would honestly be sufficient. If you're a little bit curious and you're thinking, oh, there's some stuff that's going on in me halfway through and I want to know if I'm on track, then 3 months is a good amount of time. If I'm tracking people that do have like ongoing chronic stuff, it's every 3 months. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It does make sense. So, wow.
Mm.
Thank you for your wisdom, Kerry. It's awesome to see you here, and so glad you're part of the community, which is
Yes,
great.
it's wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to be part of the community. I'm really excited to do this journey and travel with all of you and just support and help and whatever you need. I'm here.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much, Kerry.
Pleasure.
And thank you everyone else. We'll get the recording up to you soon. Thanks
Awesome.
again.
Thank you very much. Thanks all for joining.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Bye.